Right now, there's a lot of criticism, and a lot of people are suggesting that the events of the Bible didn't happen.
Have you ever wondered where Mount Sinai, the sacred mountain where God revealed himself to Moses, is located? It's a mystery that has puzzled many. In the past, people believed it was in the Sinai Peninsula, but recent discoveries are pointing to a different location. Is Mount Sinai in Saudi Arabia, as some evidence suggests, or is it elsewhere? Let's reveal the mystery together in this video. Mount Sinai, sometimes called Mount Horeb, is a very important place for three big religions: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. These religions think that Mount Sinai is really special because that's where God gave Moses the 10 Commandments. For Jewish people, this mountain is where God made an agreement with the Israelites after freeing them from slavery in Egypt. God talked to Moses here and gave him the 10 Commandments, which are like a set of rules for Jewish people. This mountain is also a place where God showed how much he cares about his people and wants them to follow his rules. It's like a connection between God and the Jewish people. For Christians, Mount Sinai is also where God gave the 10 Commandments to Moses, but they see it as something more. They think it shows how Jesus fulfilled the old rules and brought a new way of love and grace. So for Christians, it's about God's power and holiness too. In Islamic beliefs, this mountain is one of the places where God spoke to Moses and gave him the rules, kind of like the 10 Commandments. It's also about showing the connection between God and people and how important it is to follow God's rules. All three religions think Mount Sinai is a holy and special place, but there's a big debate about where it's really located. Some say it's in Egypt, and some say it's in Saudi Arabia. It's like a puzzle with some missing pieces. People used to call this mountain both Sinai and Horeb, like two nicknames for the same mountain. Some experts think they might be the same, and others think they're very close. There are even ideas that Mount Sinai might be a special part of a bigger area called Horeb. Wherever it is, this mountain should have some special signs that match the stories in the Bible. It should have a big crack in the rocks where Moses talked to God and got the 10 Commandments. It should also have a good place for a lot of people and their animals to camp. Water is important too, and it should show signs of water coming down just like the Bible says. So while Mount Sinai is really important to these three religions, where it's exactly located is still a bit of a mystery. People are trying to solve this puzzle by looking for clues and evidence, and some believe it might be in Saudi Arabia. The debate about where exactly Mount Sinai is located has been going on for a long time. Some people say it's in Egypt, while others are convinced it's in Saudi Arabia. It's like a puzzle where everyone is trying to find the missing piece that will reveal the true location. Those who argue that Mount Sinai is in Egypt have been holding on to this belief for a very long time. They even have a mountain called Jebel Musa, which means the Mountain of Moses in Arabic. This mountain has a famous St. Catherine's monastery at its base, which is one of the oldest and most respected Christian monasteries in the world. This place has features that match the descriptions in the Bible, like a blackened top, an altar, a cave, and a split rock. It's in the Sinai Peninsula, which is between Egypt and Israel. However, some folks believe that this traditional location doesn't quite match the descriptions in the Bible, and that's where the puzzle begins. People started to look for evidence in the archaeological records, but they couldn't find enough proof to confirm this traditional site. This made some people doubt this location and question whether we've been looking in the wrong place all along. Over the years, some have shifted their focus to Saudi Arabia. There's a mountain called Jebel al-Lawz there, which some think might be the real Mount Sinai. One of the reasons for this is reading the Bible and trying to match the descriptions. It's believed that this location could fit with the stories in the Bible. So, the debate continues with some pointing to Egypt and others to Saudi Arabia. Researchers are digging, studying, and looking for clues to solve this mystery. While the debate is ongoing, one thing is certain: Mount Sinai's location is still a puzzle with pieces waiting to be put together. The true location may be revealed someday, but until then, the debate rages on. Mount Sinai holds immense importance in three major religions: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Each religion has its unique perspective on this sacred mountain. For Jewish people, Mount Sinai is a symbol of a sacred agreement between God and the Israelites. It's where God made a covenant with them after they were freed from slavery in Egypt. This is where God spoke to Moses and gave him the 10 Commandments, which are like a set of moral rules that guide the lives of Jewish people. Mount Sinai, in Jewish beliefs, also represents a deep connection between God and his chosen people, highlighting the theme of obedience and the importance of living by his commands. Christians, too, hold Mount Sinai in high regard. They see it as a place of divine revelation where God gave the 10 Commandments to Moses, just like in Judaism. But for Christians, it goes beyond that. They believe that this mountain foreshadows the new covenant established through Jesus Christ. In Christian beliefs, Jesus fulfilled the old laws of Moses and introduced a new law based on love and grace. Mount Sinai symbolizes God's presence, holiness, and justice, and it's the place where God revealed his glory to Moses. In Islam, Mount Sinai is seen as one of the places where God communicated with Moses and gave him the rules that are a part of the Holy Scriptures. These rules serve as a code of conduct and reflect God's will for his people. Like in Judaism and Christianity, it emphasizes the importance of obedience and living according to God's commands. In Islamic stories, Moses is praised for his patience and obedience in delivering God's message to the Pharaoh and his people. In all three of these major religions, Mount Sinai is a place of great reverence and significance. It serves as a link between the divine and humanity, highlighting themes of obedience, faith, and God's guidance. While the interpretations may vary, the common thread is the belief in the sacredness of Mount Sinai and its role in shaping the religious beliefs and practices of millions of people around the world. Now, before going further into the video, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more content like the traditional belief that Mount Sinai was located in the Egyptian peninsula has been held for a very long time. This belief was deeply rooted and accepted by many, but over time, challenges emerged, primarily because this traditional view didn't align with the descriptions found in the Bible. The Bible contains important stories and accounts about Mount Sinai, making it a central point of reference for those seeking its location. People who believed it was in the Egyptian peninsula had to reconcile their view with what was written in the Bible. Some of the biblical descriptions created discrepancies and raised questions about the traditional location. For example, the Bible describes specific features of Mount Sinai, like a large crack in the rocks near the top where Moses had a special meeting with God and received the Ten Commandments. It also mentions the need for a comfortable area partway up the slope, spacious enough to accommodate a large number of people and their animals who camped there. Water is another important aspect, with the Bible indicating that there should be signs of water flowing down the mountain, as mentioned in Deuteronomy 9. Additionally, there's a reference to a big field where the Israelites battled the Amalekites right before reaching the mountain, a split rock nearby, and an altar or a place where a golden idol was worshipped. The traditional location in the Egyptian peninsula had to be reconciled with these biblical descriptions, which proved challenging due to the discrepancies. The lack of physical evidence that matched these descriptions further complicated the matter. As a result, scholars and researchers started to question whether the traditional site truly aligned with the biblical accounts. This ongoing challenge has spurred investigations in other regions, like Saudi Arabia, where new findings have provided alternative evidence that better fits the biblical narrative. The quest to identify the true location of Mount Sinai continues, and scholars are diligently looking for clues that might ultimately solve this age-old puzzle. The location of Mount Sinai has long been a subject of debate, with various theories suggesting different regions as its potential home. Some of these theories have pointed to places like Jordan and the southwestern Negev along the Israeli-Egyptian border, while more recent findings in Saudi Arabia have fueled the belief that Mount Sinai may be situated there. One theory proposes that Mount Sinai could be in Jordan. Scholars and researchers have explored the idea that the mountain might be nestled in the picturesque landscapes of Jordan, a location that aligns with certain biblical descriptions. The region's geography and historical context have made it a candidate for Mount Sinai's true location. However, this theory remains part of the ongoing debate and requires further investigation to confirm its validity. Another theory places Mount Sinai in the southwestern Negev along the border between Israel and Egypt. The argument is that the biblical descriptions might match this area, with features and geography that align with the stories in the Bible. This theory has also been examined and discussed as part of the quest to uncover the mountain's true location. In recent years, significant findings in Saudi Arabia have stirred interest and led to the belief that Mount Sinai might actually be located there. This theory is supported by archaeological discoveries and geographical features that seem to correspond with biblical descriptions. Some researchers have found intriguing evidence in this region, such as carvings of cows, split rocks, and altars, which align with the biblical accounts of events associated with Mount Sinai. These theories are part of the ongoing search for the true location of Mount Sinai, and each one has its proponent and evidence to support it. As scholars and researchers continue their investigations, the puzzle of Mount Sinai's exact whereabouts remains a subject of great interest and debate, with the hope that one day, the mystery will be solved. Recent findings in Saudi Arabia have reignited the debate about the true location of Mount Sinai, with evidence that has captured the attention of scholars and researchers. One of the significant findings in this region is the presence of carvings depicting cows. These carvings seem to be connected to the biblical story of the golden calf, a significant event in the narrative of the Israelites. The Bible describes how the people worshipped a golden calf while Moses was on Mount Sinai receiving the Ten Commandments. The discovery of these carvings lends credence to the idea that Mount Sinai may indeed be located in Saudi Arabia. Another piece of compelling evidence is the presence of split rocks, which also corresponds with a story from the Bible. In the biblical narrative, when the Israelites were in need of water, Moses struck a rock and water flowed from it. The existence of such split rocks in the region aligns with this account and suggests a biblical connection to Mount Sinai in Saudi Arabia. Altars found in the region further contribute to the mounting evidence. The Bible describes how Moses built an altar at the base of Mount Sinai, and the presence of altars in this area corresponds with that description. These altars are considered significant markers of the mountain's identity. Also, the mention of Mount Sinai in Arabia by the Apostle Paul lends support to the idea that the mountain might be located in the region. During Apostle Paul's time, the term Arabia included not just modern Saudi Arabia, but also the Sinai Peninsula. His mention of Mount Sinai being in Arabia aligns with both the locations of Mount Sinai in Saudi Arabia, like Jebel Sin Bishr, and the traditional Mount Sinai on the Sinai Peninsula, known as Jebel Musa. It suggests that the mountain's location might indeed be in the broader Arabian region. Historical records reveal a remarkable transformation in the landscapes of the Arabian Peninsula, including what is now modern Saudi Arabia. In the distant past, this arid desert land was far from the barren expanse we know today. It was a place of lushness and greenery, featuring a rich variety of plants and wildlife. The region supported life with its flowing rivers, ardent valleys, and diverse ecosystems. Fossils of seahorses, usually residents of shallow waters, hint at a once moist environment. This transformation from a verdant paradise to arid desert is a testament to the ever-evolving nature of our planet's landscapes. If you find this interesting, then make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Meanwhile, thanks for watching.